Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today's Thursday, October 5th. It is 6:22 right now. Market's gonna open in about 8 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and set up this room real quick and we'll get started shortly. Just got a couple things here to update. And we should be good to go. Good. All right, perfect. Let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. And we should be good to go. That's good. All right, so I'll get a few moments for people to make their way. And as people start to walk into the room, I'm going to go ahead and start marking up liquidity over here on the weekly. This typically is what takes most of our time. Stop here, zoom out. All right, looks good. That right there, that right there. Close these red. All right, going down to the daily. Close blue. There. Going down to the 8-hour. So I don't think a lot of this is going to get hit anytime soon, but again, like I mentioned, I'm just going to mark them up anyways. Going down to the 4-hour. I could technically leave these up from like the previous days, but I like doing them manually every day so that we know exactly where the levels are sitting. To the 1-hour. It's good. Over to the 30-minute. It's cool. Going down to the 15. And going down to the 10. All right, so it looks like we pretty much have liquidity marked up. I'm going to go down to the 1-minute time frame. So closest level of liquidity is going to be up top right here at 33,326. And the lower level is going to be down here at 33,185. So those are the two closest liquidity levels. I mean, this will probably get hit pre-market, but we'll see. Other than that, let's go back to our main chart over here. Let me see if there was news pre-market. So good morning, guys. Looks like majority of you guys are here so far. Today is Thursday, October 5th. It is 6:28 right now. Market's going to open shortly in about 2 minutes. There was news over here at 4:30, 5:30. That's about it. So market news at 4:30 and 5:30. Let's see if we had any reaction to those news events. So news over here at 4:30. Not really much of a reaction there. Then we had news over here at 5:30, I believe, right? 4:30 and 5:30. That's news right here, 4:30 and 5:30. Let's see, we have some more news coming up over here at 7 o'clock. So 7 o'clock and 7:30. And I think that's pretty much it. So got one right here at 7 o'clock. And then one at 7:30. So all right, guys, market's going to open in about a minute. We currently have a buy signal right here. As you guys can see, market kind of moved around pretty crazy right here pre-market. So I don't know if I'm going to take the breakout V2, guys. I'm still being a little bit careful this week because it is NFP. So if we are looking for the breakout V2, it's going to be the 2 green candles after market open. So if we get 2 green candles after 6:30, it'll be a buy since we have a buy momentum right here. What was I going to say? Congrats to Drew here. So Drew, if you guys saw the profits from yesterday, Drew finally passed his top step. So he's now officially funded with top step. He's like, I think our second or third person in the group to get funded with top step. I personally haven't used top step enough, so I haven't been able to get funded yet. I just focus on my MC4 accounts. But big congrats to Drew there for finally passing. If you guys just stay consistent, like Drew here just sticks to the plan. And if you guys stick to the game plan, you should have no problem getting funded on any broker really, or any funding company, because it's really just a rinse and repeat process of the same thing every single day. So all right, guys, morning Kevin, morning Maria, morning Kenny, morning Daniel, morning everybody. Market is open. Actually, market is now open. So let me go ahead and mark this up right here. This is opening price. So again, you guys are looking for 2 green candles. 2 green candles and a few updates to the strategies that we're testing. I think I'm going to be dropping the high-low momentum scalp on open. The strategy is fine how it originally is applied, but on open, it's just not as good. It's at a 50% win rate. So, I mean, it's still possible for it to pick back up, but I'm now switching it out with a new strategy, which is the high-low scalp V2. So I found out a different way to apply the high-low scalp that everyone likes to apply. It provides for a lot more like a lot more accuracy and a lot more consistency, because instead of entering the high-low scalp right away, I'm basically waiting for a fake out and then looking for a continuation in the direction of price. So I'll be testing that strategy. I'll be forward testing it from here on. If you guys go on the Discord and you look at the spreadsheets, I've added a new spreadsheet there for the high-low scalp V2. So I'll probably move this up because the high-low momentum scalp we're no longer going to be testing. The original way that we apply it works perfectly fine, so we don't really have to make changes. The variation to it, applying it on open, isn't necessarily the best way to apply it. So if you guys want to still apply it, feel free to take it, but I'm not going to be testing it moving forward. There's just too many strategies for me to test. We still have the momentum counter scalp, obviously the breakout V2, the intraday scalp, and then now the high-low scalp. The only official strategy that we're typically looking for and very confident about would be the momentum pullback scalp at the moment. So guys, again, if there's a second green candle right here, this is technically going to be the breakout V2. Again, I'm not sure if I'm going to take it because you guys can see how market moved right here pre-market. Typically, when this happened during the summer season, it was not a good trade. It was more of a risky trade. So I'm not going to take the trade. I'll follow it and I'm going to keep it for documentation purposes. But I'm just going to follow it and then we'll document it. If you guys want to take it, feel free to take it. But again, it's still in its testing phase. It's not doing amazing right now. So that's why I'm a little more careful with taking this specific entry. So If you guys want to take it, if this here closes green, again, it has to close green. If it doesn't close green, there's no entry there. So make sure that you follow this candle here, and it's for a 25-25 split. So it doesn't look like it's going to close green, so it does not look like there'll be an entry there. Or actually, there might be. So I couldn't tell what this candle closed like. You guys can see right there. I think it might have closed green, but it was hard to tell. So I don't know if anybody hopped into the trade there. I don't like taking trades when the candle doesn't close very obvious. I mean, it looks like it might have closed green. And there goes a breakout V2 right there. So let's just go back real quick. I'm going to replay it. Okay, so it did close green, but like barely. I mean, I'm looking at MT4, it did close green. It's just hard to tell what it was. I'm looking over here at my FTMO, and it did. So this was the trade here. As I mentioned, you have to wait for it to close green or red. If it closed green, that was the entry, and it did close green. I didn't take the trade, so I'm not counting it as an official entry, but I'm documenting it for the spreadsheet. So yeah, if you guys took it, looks like Natasha caught it. She said it did close green and she took it. So great work, guys. If you guys took the trade, solid. If you didn't, it's completely fine. I'm going to just put the, here, let's see, I'll just put this over here. The entry came right at open, so it was at 6:32. Today's date is October 5th. At 23, it was for a buy, it was a win. Oh, sorry, this isn't wrong yet. This wasn't even the right. So over here. All right. So I put it back right there into the documentation purposes. So I didn't take a trade. It's not going to count under my official entries. If you guys look at my official entries for the month so far, I've only taken 2 entries. Took 2 entries on Tuesday, haven't taken anything else since. Actually, I took an entry yesterday. I didn't get to document that. So I'll update that a little later. But, you know, other than that, let's see what we got over here. So we've already covered the breakout V2. The next entry that we would be looking for would be the momentum, or sorry, it'd be the momentum counter scalp. And then other than that, it'd be the intraday scalp. We can't get an intraday scalp here because we already have a buy signal. So the next entry that would come up would be a momentum counter scalp. So it'd have to be a sell signal come up and then 2 green candles, and that would be the momentum counter scalp. For the high-low, or sorry, for the high-low scalp V2, the criteria is right here. Where's it at? I gotta update this chart. I'll do it on a different chart. I'm not going to do it on this one, but here, I'll just put the criteria over here. It's easier to see. You don't really need all the extra stuff. Yeah, so it's basically the same strategy. We're just confirming the trend, looking for price to break and close past it. Then we're looking for a fake out within 5 candles. And then we're looking for a correction. When the correction comes up, that's where the entry happens. And it's a 300 pip TP stop loss, so a 1-to-1. So let's see. All right, liquidity over here just hit, guys. I'm not sure if anybody caught it. Liquidity shot up and went straight to TP right there. So if you guys got the upper level liquidity that I marked up pre-market right here, I mentioned it was at 33,326. I mean, it doesn't matter where you entered from. It did touch it a couple times, and it finally blasted through right here. So if you entered right away, or if you entered later for the second or third touch, either way, it wouldn't have stopped you out because it had time in between and it bounced around, but then it eventually shot right back up to TP. So liquidity up top just hit. Nice work, guys. Nice. William said he's been going over back and practicing the momentum pullback scalp, and he's become a lot more comfortable and eager to take him this week. And just letting us know that our videos and mentoring pays off. Yeah, no, definitely, William. That's good. So yeah, the more that you guys practice and the more that you guys see the entry come up, you know, the more comfortable you'll be taking the actual entry. So it's just a rinse and repeat of the process right there, of just understanding how the strategy works and then trusting it completely. So, All right, if we get a sell signal right here, this is going to be a setup for the momentum momentum counter scalp. Sorry, there's so many strategies that we're looking at right now. Typically, I only look at like one or two strategies, but since we're doing a lot of these testing as we go into the fall season, we just have to get stuff down because we want to make sure that we capitalize on the high volatility between October up until say May, because we want to make most of our money now while the market's fast. And obviously, kind of chill back during the summer. So we'll see. Anyways, guys, if we get a sell signal right here, hasn't closed yet. If we do get the sell signal, we're looking for 2 green candles, and that'll be the momentum counter scalp entry. Other than that, let me check the news real quick, or let's check what the overall bias is for today. So overall bias right now currently 66% long. This indicates that 66% of retail traders are currently buying right now. So you typically want to do the opposite and sell. You don't have to, but that's what the bias is. Looking over here at the fundamentals are currently down 14 points, so they're neutral. And looking over here at the technicals, you can see that the lower time frames are currently bullish neutral, and the higher time frames are bearish neutral. So I'll go and put that up over here real quick. So today's overall bias, retail sentiment is currently 66% long. So it's bearish, 66% long. Fundamental bias is currently neutral, negative 14 points. Short-term technicals are bullish neutral. Long-term technicals are bearish neutral. All right, so there goes today's overall bias. We don't really have one, right? We have retail sentiment that's indicating to take sells. We have fundamental bias, which is neutral. Short-term is bullish neutral, and long-term is bearish neutral. So we don't have a bias today at all. So if you guys are looking for, to take some V1 variations, you're probably not going to get anything anytime soon because, obvious reason right here, price is not it's not moving very directional at all. So we'll see. Anyways, here is the clean chart. Go in. Actually, this is, this will be the clean chart here. So let me go and open up opening price markup opening price, which was right there. This right there, and this right there. All right, I'll come back to this later. You guys can see price is kind of just bouncing around opening price right there. There's not really much of anything for us to look at or do. So I'll come back to that in a little bit. The trend right now is currently bullish. I'm going to start marking up the high lows over here. All right, so I'll use this chart just for high-low scalp V2s because we can't mix them with this one since this one has all the markups. This one has a little too many markups where we won't be able to see anything once we start marking up the momentum pullback levels. So if we get 2 green candles right here, guys, this will technically be a momentum counter scalp, like I mentioned. You guys are looking to take it. Also, if we get a buy signal, that's going to be an intraday scalp. So there's a bunch of different opportunities here. And again, if you guys are new to the Discord, make sure that you go to Kodi Kai trades up here, click on show all channels. Once you guys have that enabled, it'll show you all the channels over here. Typically, if you don't have that logged on, if it wasn't checked off, you'll just see a few of the channels, like whatever is mostly used. But if you click on that there, it'll show you all the channels. So just a reminder, guys, if you guys are looking. So again, guys, if we have 2 green candles here, technically it'll be a momentum counter scalp if you guys are looking to take that specific trade there. I got to make sure that it actually closes green. Like if it's like one of these iffy candles like this right here, where you can't tell if it's green or not, or if it's like a doji, then, obviously I'm going to sit out on it. This candle has about 30 seconds left on it. So we'll see how it closes as it comes back up. And I'll let you guys know if I'm taking it or if I'm not. Again, I'll have to know for sure. I'm not going to like jump in at the last second if it just swings up. We got about 20 seconds left on here. So we'll see how this candle ends up closing. It's a little bit of a tricky candle because it keeps going back and forth. Yeah, I'm gonna hold off on it. I mean, it looks like it's gonna hit, but I'm gonna hold off on it. I couldn't tell if it was gonna close properly or not. Kept bouncing around. So this is the momentum counter scalp right here, guys. I'm not in this position, as I mentioned. I wanted to wait for it to close, and it just kept bouncing back and forth at the last second. So I was gonna take that risk, taking a risky move like this, where there's a lot of uncertainty as to like the direction of price, whether price is gonna go up or whether price is gonna go down. So I'm not in this position. We're just documenting it for the spreadsheet. And we'll see where this ends up going. But on this chart over here, I'm going to start marking up highs or lows depending on like where price ends up going. I'll just mark this up for now, just in case price starts to shift to the downside. So I'm going to mark up these lows over here so we can follow them. But again, the trade here is still technically running right now for the momentum counter scalp. So I'll come back and follow that in a little bit. Let me see if there's any structure here that we can draw up. So we got some structure up here. Structure down here. Some more structure right here. And some down here. I'll clean this up a little later once we have more structure that builds up. But for right now, just gonna leave it as is. So that is the structure that we have currently drawn up on the clean chart. As you guys can see, it's currently at a support right now. So price can likely, bounce off here, or it'll come down and continue dropping from where it's currently at. So yeah, exactly. C6 of that candle was iffy. So I'm pretty glad I didn't take the momentum counter scalp right there, because you can see how it's kind of like, or actually, I don't even know if it played out. It's still running right now, but you guys can see how it's kind of like, it's really iffy with how it's moving right now. So there's a couple different scenarios here. From the clean chart, you guys can see it's still at the support. So it can either bounce off it and swing right back up, or it can break below and continue climbing down. So the thing is, when I trade, guys, I don't like trading when there's any uncertainty. I want to know for sure if it's going to hit or not, right? So that candle right there that closed, it was an iffy candle. It had a huge wick on the bottom, it had a huge wick on the top. It didn't even close until like the very last second. So I didn't really feel comfortable taking the trade. The thing that you guys have to remember is that it is NFP week. So you're going to see a lot of these fake outs and a lot of uncertainty in the market. So you got to make sure that when you're taking these trades, you're like 100% confident. It doesn't matter what their chart says, but if you feel confident, then you don't take the trade. If you don't feel confident, then just wait for the next one. Yeah, because you guys can see over here from the pivots too, like Sisu said, like the pivots aren't even sure where price is going, right? It's also at news price right here. So you guys see the pink line. It's at news price. You're getting a lot of uncertainty in both directions from like where price wants to go. So I'm not in this position. I'm just going to mark it up to document it, but I didn't take this position here. I'm glad we decided not to take it, because obviously you can see right here where to stop this out. So 2 trades that have come up today so far. The breakout V2 hit for a full TP of 250 pips, and then the momentum counter scalp over here did not play through. I mean, the momentum counter scalp's been on a pretty smooth roll though, so it's not like it was it wasn't going to happen in due time. Like when you guys are taking these trades here, sometimes like the trades just have to, they don't work all the time. They work most of the time, but not all the time. Let me just make sure I copy this over properly. Yeah. So looking at the win rate over here for the momentum counter scalp, it's still doing pretty good. It has a 78% win rate. We were currently on a 4 win streak, and then now just recently we had like 2 losses, which is fine. That's the whole reason for this back test, or not back test, forward test. So you guys can see all these entries here have been tested during the live sessions, and we're making sure to see if these strategies work very well before we make them an official strategy. So a couple of things to keep into mind: heavy price movement pre-market, and then also NFP. There's just a lot of reasons to be careful in the market right now. I haven't taken any trades yet, even though these hit. So this one over here didn't hit. This one over here did hit. The other entry that we would probably be looking for would be the intraday scalp. So if you get a buy signal here, that would be the intraday scalp. And then after that, we'll be looking for the high-low scalp as well. High-low scalp V2. All right, I'm going to start marking up the levels here. So I have the high lows marked up right here for the high-low scalp V2. So once the trade sets up, I'll let you guys know. I'll try to be as quick as possible to explain it, but it's pretty much the same high-low scalp strategy. The only difference is that you're looking for price to break and close past structure. It doesn't matter if it's been touched as how many times. It just matters if it's touched, fakes out, and then comes back in. So I'm basically what I'm looking for here is I'm looking for price to break. Well, first I need the trend. So I need the trend to shift. Once the trend is bearish, I'm going to look for price to come down. Break below. This is going to be the first step. Break below. That's going to be number two. Obviously, first step, confirm trend. Second, confirm break and close past the structure. And then I'm looking for a fake out back up. That's going to be the second step. And then I'm going to look for a correction back down. And when the correction comes back down, that's where my entry happens. It's basically like a momentum pullback scalp. It's like literally momentum pullback scalp, except we're using the high-low scalp as a like a confluence, basically. So if you guys look at the pattern, it's pretty much the same thing as a momentum pullback scalp. The only difference here is that we're using the structure here to identify the confirmation of breaker structure. So that's why I like this strategy. It moves very similar to the momentum pullback scalp. So that's already one of the staples for us. And this is just going to be another one to add on to it. So, all right, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start marking up the levels. So let me mark up the levels over here. First level is going to be down here at the 70, color that black. 80, 90. Looks like the volatility is not as high as yesterday. As you can see, there's not as many lines as we had during yesterday's session, which is fine. It's not a big deal. It's just it's good that we'll understand that, you know, okay, there's going to be a lot less movement than we did yesterday, because the volatility was extremely high yesterday and the day before that. I think ATR was like at like 30 earlier this week, and I've never seen it that high. At least not during our live session time. All right, so price is starting to swing back up over here. Yeah, exactly. C6 said there will be a better setup later as the market stabilizes. Yeah, I agree too. And William said, yeah, he means that he's done well with the momentum pullback scalp. This week was 100% better because he's mentally and more comfortable and eager. So yeah, I agree. See, Gian said the new high-low break retest V2 hit. Oh, this one right here, the lower level. There was no trend yet, Gian. Or actually, no, there wasn't any. But which one are you talking about, Gian? Trying to figure out which one you're referring to. I think you're referring to this one right here. But it would have. Yeah, there's no entry right here, Gian. Because price would have to break past it, then fake out, and then come back down. So if you're looking for a bearish here, price would have to break it, which happened right here as the first break, right? This would be the break, this would be the fake out, and you'd have to wait for it to come back down. But there's no trend right now, so you wouldn't even be looking for a sell. Yeah, so not yet. There's no entry yet. And if you're looking for a buy, it would have to be a high that's broken, right? So if you're looking for price to go up, you're looking for a high. If you're looking for a low to be broken, it has to be a low. But the trend has to be confirmed yet. If you can see over here from the trend, it's still currently, I'll color this blue. It's easier for us to see. The trend right now is technically still bullish. You can see the red pivots below all the other pivots. So We had a buy signal right here, guys, but this buy signal was invalid. So this is not an intraday scalp entry. Right, so I'm just waiting for the trend here to kind of confirm a little bit. I mean, the trend's still technically bullish, so I mean, we'll see where this ends up going, but I think we can take off momentum because we don't really need momentum on. I'll just leave it on. I like having the momentum on just to see where price is going, but technically it's bullish right now. So you guys can see the red pivots below all the other pivots. So we currently have a bullish trend right now. So we're looking for price to break and close past structure right here, fake out, and continue back up. And that's how we're going to look for our entry here for a buy. So basically break structure, fake out, continuation. Yeah, Maria said, I don't like all the pivots together. Yeah, same here, Maria. I don't like that either. So I'm hoping if price does push up, we'll have a direction in our favor. But right now we just don't have that yet. So this entry over here for the high-low scalp V2, this could be in a line with the momentum pullback scalp, because what we need here is the same thing. We need price to push up, retrace back, and continue. Because you guys can see over here that it's pretty much the same pattern. It's just that this one's looking for more of a confluence. All right, so and this is going to be hard for me to I'll figure it out though. It's going to be kind of hard for me to make adjustments to my TP stop loss depending on the entry, because we do have a momentum counter scalp, or sorry, we have a momentum pullback scalp if you come up here, but the TP stop loss is different from the high-low scalp V2 over here. So again, we're looking for price to break and close past the structure right here. We're looking for it to pull back and then continue back up. Actually, so for the momentum pullback scalp, price needs to push up a lot higher. It needs to push past this candle right here. So the lowest that I'll take entry for this would be over here for a momentum pullback scalp. So it's got to push up pretty high from where we're currently at. Looking over here at the high-low scalp V2. Okay, so this is not going to be an entry, guys, because this high-low over here pretty much got invalidated. It wasn't established yet. So there's not going to be an entry there for a high-low scalp V2 just yet. We'll keep looking, but there's no entry there at the moment. What we might have an opportunity here for would be for the momentum pullback scalp. So I'll put the criteria up here for the momentum pullback scalp. All right, so if this red candle here closes, I mean, it's not looking like it's going to close above it, but if it closes above this black line right here, this is where our entry would be. It's not looking like it's going to happen because the candle here is pretty big, but that's kind of what we're looking for. We also have news right here in 5 minutes, so we're probably going to sit out. I'll probably sit out on this right now, guys. It's not looking like it's going to close anyways. But if it does close, I'll mark it up. Thanks, Maddie. Thanks, Maria, for the heads up. Yeah, C6 said, never take an entry when the pivots are clumped up, wait for them to spread out. Yeah, and I agree with you, C6, 100%. So again, we're just waiting for, we're mainly waiting for news to pass. We got news over here in about 4 minutes. If this candle here, again, if it closes red and it's above this black line right here, this is going to be a momentum pullback scalp. But I'm probably just going to hold off on it. Okay, so it didn't close above it. There's no entry here, unfortunately. So you can see how price closed right here, but it closed below the black line. So there's no entry there for a momentum pullback scalp, because what you're typically doing is you're looking to catch the dip, which the dip here dipped too low. So there's no entry for that. However, there's still opportunity. So you don't necessarily have to take that specific one. You'll just wait for the next one. because eventually it's going to push back up higher, retrace back down again, and then that's going to be the entry for the momentum pullback scalp. All right, so there's no entry there. We have a new high low over here. So I actually want this to retrace down a little bit. We'll see what happens here when news passes. Yeah, I'm hoping it doesn't touch it yet, because if it touches, it's just going to invalidate it again. So. All right. Hey, Travis, Elijah, Shannon. Oh yeah, no, definitely. Shannon says you found this. Yeah, I forgot that you're on the YouTube right now. It's all good. All right, so this high low over here just got invalidated, guys. Again, it's not useful for us. We gotta wait for the next one to come up. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm blowing my nose. I hate being sick. All right, so going back over here to the momentum pullback scalp, guys, there's another opportunity coming up. If we get a red candle and it closes above this black line, like I mentioned earlier, this is going to be an entry for the momentum pullback scalp. However, we do have news coming up right here in about a minute. So obviously I would not take this entry here. I'll mark it up for you guys if you guys do decide to take it. But again, not going to take the entry because we have some news coming up here at 7 o'clock. It's the inflation rate year over year. It's low impact, but even so, I'm still not going to risk it. It's still a risk that you have to take into consideration. Let's see, PC is asking, the 7 a.m. news is from Canada. Would that be considered important to influence market? I would consider any news event that happens between the live session. So anything that happens, doesn't really matter what country, because the news that happens is typically, it's going to affect, like if it's a world, like a world currency, like Canada, you said, and this was the entry right here, guys. Obviously we wouldn't have taken the entry. I just want to mark it up for you guys. But yeah, PC, pretty much any of the news that happens during our live session time is going to affect more. You can see right here, like Maria said, the flag right there was an Ecuador flag, which is weird because let me see. I don't know why does it show up there, because I think I only put US, or maybe I just put time. I forgot where my settings are at. There we go. Yeah, so I've only checked US here, but for whatever reason, it's an Ecuador flag that has come up. So I wasn't even sure if that was Canada or not, because yeah, PC mentioned it was Canada and then Maria said it was Ecuador. I think the flag is it's incorrect. I think they just put the wrong flag, because if you look over here, it says USD. So I don't think the flag matters, guys. For me personally, if you look at the news that happens between like in the morning up until the live session time, it's usually going to be based off US. Like the main country that's being affected is US. Yeah, so I would just look at the actual country right here, guys, the dollar versus the actual flag, because right here I don't even know what the flag is down here. Sorry, I'm not familiar with my flags, but there's another one right here, but it's the same thing. It's still like US news. It's just the news, the flag is incorrect. All right, so let me go back over here. So this is why we don't trade news, guys. See how this candle here just spiked down all randomly? That's the main reason why we avoid news completely, because you don't want to get caught in a move like that. So there's no entry for us yet that we've taken or that has been available. There's another high that's been established right here. So this may be our opportunity to look for the high-low scalp V2. Otherwise, we'll keep looking for another entry here for the momentum pullback scalp. But yeah, these strategies are pretty much going to line up with each other. They're very similar. They're looking for the same thing, only for this here. So when we're trying the momentum pullback scalp, we're looking for price to pull back to a price level. When we're looking for the high-low scalp V2, we're looking for price to break price structure. So we're looking for the pullback on this one, and we're looking for price to break and close past structure on the high-low scalp. So they kind of go hand in hand. A lot of these entries will pretty much end up around the same area. They might even overlap, but yeah, pretty much same thing for the most part. Oh, gotcha. Okay, Marina. So Marina said that's because they use US dollar as their currency. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I didn't know that. I thought they had their own currency. But yeah, if that's the case, then yeah, it's going to affect the US dollar. So even though it's not US news, if it affects the US dollar, like if they're a country that uses the US dollar, like basically all the major countries, and certain developing countries that only use the US dollar, then it's going to affect the market. So yeah, even though it was in Ecuador news, it still affected the US dollar. You can see right here. Let's check news real quick. So the news was positive. You can see this here, price came down. I think this is just manipulation, and price is now going to climb its way back up. So the news happened right here at 7 o'clock, price dropped. However, the news was positive, so it should have went up. And now you can see price is starting to make its correction back to the upside. So I actually like when price does the opposite of news. So if the news is positive and price comes down, I like when that happens because you already know price is probably going to correct back up. You know, it's going to have to fill this whole area right here. So yeah, you guys can probably expect price to swing back up at some point there. All right, so here's the clean chart. Let me see if there's any other levels. All right, so I'll make some adjustments here. All right, so here's the clean chart. As you guys can see, price is just ranging between this high and this low. So basically this is a resistance, this is a support. Price is pretty much just sitting around opening price. Again, like I mentioned, guys, you know, if price doesn't push away from this opening price, this just shows that there's no direction in movement. So typically, you know, if you traded with me for a while, like when the market's really trending, it's pushing away from opening price and it doesn't really come back. Or it pushes below and it never comes back, right? When the market was moving like that, we used to take this strategy called the daily US30 because price would just keep climbing in that direction. You can see right here, it's not really doing that. Price has trouble getting past opening price, and then it just gravitates back to the opening level right here. So just use this as a baseline. So this blue line right here, whenever you guys look at the charts, like any of my charts here, just look at that blue line. That blue line is going to be your baseline. So if price doesn't push away from there, there's no direction. That's basically why I draw it there and why it's there. Like that's the main reason it's there for, so that you can understand, you know, when and where to direct your trend. Like right now, price is in between. The trend hasn't really shifted yet, so there's not really too much here to work with at the moment. The trend here is still pretty mixed. You guys can see the pivots here are kind of crossing over. So even though price is getting close to the pivots over here, or sorry, price is getting close to this lower low, it's not going to be useful to us because we don't have a trend. So we still need to have a trend here before we can look for any entries applying the high-low scalping too. This here looks like it could have been an intraday scalp entry. We had a sell signal here that matched the trend meter. However, I think the candle here might be a little too big. Yeah, the candle's too big. So for the high-low, or sorry, the intraday scalp, if the momentum candle is over 300 pips, skip to the next entry. So this here technically would have been the intraday scalp. However, the candle here is just way too big. So there's no opportunity for entry there. If you guys were looking to, you know, to take it, obviously. All right, back to this messy market. Market's been pretty messy all week. As you guys know, it's NFP week. Today's Thursday, so tomorrow is when the big news comes out. I don't think there's any other news events for us to look out for. Not really. So we have the Fed speaking over here at 9 o'clock. We have Fed Messer who might be speaking still at 6 o'clock. We have Fed Daily speaking at 9 o'clock, and we have Fed Bar speaking at 9:15. So we have a lot of Fed members speaking this week. They're basically just giving you a hint to, and Fed Barkin at 8:30. So we have a Fed member speaking pretty much every other hour. It's all going to be lining up to NFP tomorrow. So NFP comes out tomorrow over here. You guys can see a lot of high impact news coming up. And we'll see. I mean, NFP is it's predicted to be negative tomorrow. So you can see over here, last month was 187K. It is at 170. So it looks like people got laid off or fired since then. All right, so we got price finally breaking below over here. We don't have the trend yet, so we need this red pivot to be above all the other pivots. Once we have that, we can start looking for possible entry. But right now, we don't have that yet, so that's basically what we're looking for. We're just looking for this trend here to shift. Once the trend is shifted, we can start looking for a sell. But at the moment, it hasn't shifted yet, so unfortunately, there's no entry that we can take here just yet. There was a breaking close past structure right here, so this is a setup for the high-low scalp V2. However, since the trend here hasn't confirmed yet, we can't take any sells just yet. So we just got to wait for the trend here to shift. Once the trend here is shifted, we can start looking for a possible entry. If anything, price might be trying to reach for the liquidity down below. So this liquidity down below has not gotten hit yet. So it's still on its way down. If it continues to climb lower, it's going to hit liquidity. And that's going to be the push that we are probably looking for. But yeah, other than that. So say, for example, we had a bearish trend right here, right? This would be the setup that we were looking for. So see how price broke and closed past the structure? This right here is a fake out. It's coming back up. If this was the case and price is bearish, we would be looking to take a sell right here. So as soon as this candle over here closes, above, we would have a pending order just waiting here to catch it correct back down. But right now, we just don't have that because the trend here hasn't shifted, unfortunately. It would have been nice if it did shift, but it hasn't shifted. So I'll just have this drawn up here so that you guys can have an idea. But at the moment, there's no trend shift yet. We need this red pivot to be above all the other pivots. So even at this point right here, it's still not there, which is fine. We got to follow the strategy as it's supposed to be applied. So I'm going to take this off right there. So at this point, you know, if this is the case, then we'll be looking for this level to be broken when it comes back down a second time. So trend hasn't shifted yet. We're still looking for that to confirm. Once it confirms, we can start looking for some sells. Right now, it hasn't confirmed yet. Yeah, so this would have been the entry right there if this was. So see how price comes back down? That's where it would have filled. However, this wouldn't have been an entry because we need the trend here to shift. That's going to be step one. If the trend hasn't confirmed yet, there's no entry here. But you guys can see it would have been a pretty nice entry. I wouldn't be surprised if it comes right through. Anyways, I'll take this off for now. So again, we're just looking for this to shift. Once it shifts right there, we'll have time for entry and then we'll go from there. But right now, we're just kind of waiting. See how far price is pushed from here. It's not overextended yet. All right, so what I need here is I need another red candle. If I get another red candle here, then we can start looking for a momentum pullback scalp. I think if we get one more red candle, this pivot will shift and we can start looking for possible sells here. All right, so the trend has confirmed. We now have a bearish trend, but we need price to come back down. So now that we have the bearish trend here, which is confirmed, you can see the red pivot above all the other pivots. Now we need a continuation back down. So I'm fine if we get a buy signal here, but then I need to confirm that price comes back down from here. So we get a buy signal confirming retracement, then we get a sell signal and it pulls down and our entry happens right there. So yeah, this time we're just waiting for that to play through. And then looking over here, yeah, I'm not going to jump into it late. I was kind of tempted to jump into this trade late and just put my sell stop there, but I'm not going to. We need to look for the next level. So I need price to come back down and break and close below this level over here. And then I need to confirm that fake out and then continuation. This is going to be a little tough, guys, because these two they're probably going to overlap with each other. So you probably have to figure out which one you want to take, whether you want to take the momentum pullback scalp entry or whether you want to take the high-low scalp V2. Because the thing is, you're gonna have to make a choice because these are two different, unless you're gonna take both of them and then just lower your lot size so that you can take both at the same time. They both have different TP stop loss. So you can't just enter like both at the same. You'd have to make some adjustments. All right, so back over here. So what I need here is I either need price to come down further, retrace, and our entry would happen right there. That's going to be scenario one. Scenario two is we get a buy signal here, and then it comes back down. So say, for example, here, we get a buy signal. Price continues climbing slightly. We get a sell signal, comes back down, and then our entry happens right there. Right. I think best case scenario, I actually want the buy signal to close because I need another sell signal. This one's kind of used up already. So I want this one to close, provide us the confirmation of retracement. And once we get that confirmation of retracement, we'll start looking for the continuation back down. So that's literally all I'm looking for right here. The only downside like this is if it pushes up too high, you guys can see how the trend is starting to shift back up, right? This is where it becomes a little messy. Because now at this point, we need to confirm price is we need to confirm the trend. That's really what it is. But like what I was mentioning before, just look at this blue line right here, right? As I mentioned earlier, this is the baseline. So price just keeps faking out. Price will come down, it fakes out, pushes back to opening price, right? Price pushes up, fakes out, goes back to opening price. Price pushes down, fakes out, back to opening price. So it's basically a baseline. There's no direction right now. So we're trying to confirm the trend and confirm the direction, but right now there's just no direction. As you can see, price just keeps going back and forth. It's been respecting the levels that I've drawn though. So I drew this level over here. It's the same one right here, basically a double bottom. So I drew that level right there. Price came down, tapped it, went right back up. See if there's any other levels here for me to mark up. Nothing at the moment. So we'll leave it as is. Yeah, exactly. Van Harwig said fake out city. Yeah. And this is best that we're not in a position at this time, because if you are in a position, you're probably gonna get faked out, right? There's so many fake outs on both sides. Price pushed up, faked out, came back to open price, faked out, open price, faked out, open price, faked out, open price. And now here we go as price continues to make its way back down. So a lot of times, I mean, for me personally, I think this is best that we're not in any positions, because if you're in a position, you're going to be pretty stressed out because there's no direction. All right, we got that buy signal right there. That's perfect. Now we're looking for a sell signal. So if you guys saw my markup right here, it's basically like a head and shoulders. We have price push up, continue up higher, return back down, retrace, and that's where we're going to be looking for our entry. So I'm just looking for a sell signal here. That's basically what I'm looking for. And then for this high-low scalp V2, I'm looking for price to come down here and break this structure. So again, it's just a waiting game, guys. 717 right now. Not really much for us to take. There's no intraday scalp entries that have come up yet. Yeah. So back to the high level momentum scalp, guys. I'm not saying that the high level momentum scalp isn't a good strategy. The only thing is it's not good with the way that we were applying it. So we tried to make it a one-to-one strategy on open. I think it's decent. It's not 50%. So if you guys wanted to keep testing it, you guys can keep testing it. Just go to the Discord, go to high level momentum scalp. You guys have the spreadsheet here. So if you guys want to continue documenting the trades, feel free to do that. I'm not going to focus on this because there's too many strategies for me to look at. But the strategy works fine. If you're using a 10-30 split, the original way of applying it, it still hits. Daniel's one of the people that applies it a lot, and it hits almost every time for him. This is just different because the ATR is always it's fluctuating, and it makes it difficult for you to catch the bigger moves. So yeah, if you guys want to apply that, feel free. But the high-low scalp V2 is the new spreadsheet here, and this is what we're going to be following, moving forward, as we figure out. And I think this will be better too, because this strategy is meant for a directional market. And as we go into the fall season, the market just keeps getting more and more directional. We're going from summer, which is a ranging market. That's why the high level momentum scalp worked initially. And then now we're going to fall, which is directional. So for this specific, market conditions, you want to be applying something that's directional. So the two directional strategies that we really have are like the momentum pullback scalp, the high-low scalp. Now we're going to be doing this high-low scalp V2 because of all the fake outs. There's just different variations to the same strategy. Same strategy is just difference in looking at the direction of price for the most part. Or not really direction, but entry or price. Because initially for the high-low scalp, you would enter right when price breaks and close past structure, right? But now you're looking for the fake out. You're looking for price to break it, fake out, and then come back up. Basically just looking for that late entry. All right, so it looks like we might have a bullish trend here. So if that's the case, that's completely fine. We'll just look for price to break and close past structure right here. And then we'll look for the setup over here. So you can see the pivots are starting to shift really quickly. They haven't confirmed yet, but they are shifting. Let's take a look at sentiment. Sentiment is still at 66, I believe. 66% long. Looking over here at the fundamentals. Fundamentals are currently 18 points negative, still neutral. Looking over here at the technicals. Technicals are now bullish for the short term. And they're still bearish for the, we'll just change it here. It's no longer bullish neutral, it's just bullish now. All right, so we do have the bullish trend now, guys. So a couple of things here to look at. If you're looking for the momentum pullback scalp, we're looking for a red candle. If we get that red candle right there, the entry would happen at the next level, which should be right here at the 90. So entry would happen here at the 90 if this candle closes. Let's see. And for the high-low scalp V2, we need price to break and close past the structure. All right, so if the candle here closes red, entry would happen right here at the 90 mark, guys. So if you guys are looking to take the trade here, if it comes down to that 90 mark, that's where entry would happen. And we'll go back to the high-low scalp V2 once we get down to that point there. So volatility right here is kind of slow. It's currently at 21. Or I mean, the candle currently is kind of slow, but the overall volatility is still pretty decent for the most part. So entry is going to happen right there. I was thinking about trading my top step, but it's just too much work. I don't think I can do my top step right now. So I'm already doing two different strategies. All right, so the entry still hasn't filled yet, guys. Still at that same level, the 33,290. So if you guys want to take it, that would be the entry point right there. Let me go back over here and see. Hasn't really touched it yet. So I'm basically just waiting for this here to come back up. If it does come back up, momentum pullback scalp is running right now. So it's still got some time to get up to this area there. So I gotta watch it because TFS been screwing me lately. All right, price is pushing up. I got out, guys, full TP on my end. So right there, momentum pullback scalp, full TP. If you guys followed it, smooth entry. So you guys can see like this strategy works all year round. So this is like a staple. We're going to be using this all year round. Perfect entry, price came down, filled it, went straight to TP. So there goes the entry for the day, guys. I locked in 2,000 off that trade. So solid move right there. Nice. William said, boom, cash in my face. One FTMO. Definitely. Nice work, William. All right. So taking the trade there, take that off, clean it up a little bit. Let's add that to our, I got 2 entries here because I took one yesterday, right? I forgot what I took. Let me go over here real quick. Yeah. So I took 1 entry yesterday, which was the momentum pullback scalp as well. $728. So both momentum pullback scalps. This one was for a buy. Yesterday was for the sell. This was at around time I took this trade. What's the timestamp for this thing? 728. And this one was at 7, let's say 720. Let's round it. All right, so 10-4-23. Today's 10-5-23. All right, 2 back-to-back wins right there. So these are the official trades that I took here in the live session with you guys. I only took 4 trades so far for this month. They were all wins, solid wins, straight to TPs. Now we're looking for another entry here. So we got a sell signal. We now need to get a buy signal. Once we get the buy signal, we'll look for price to do the same thing. So basically another head and shoulders pattern, if you guys want to consider it that. We had price push up, retrace down, or actually, so you had price come down right here, come down a little bit. There goes the head, price comes up and retrace. And that's where we make our entry. So an inverted head and shoulders pattern, basically, for the most part. I don't trade patterns, but that's literally what's coming up when we're looking for these entries here. So we're looking for a buy signal here, guys. If we get a buy signal, then that's going to be the opportunity for us to start looking for another entry. But until then, we just got to sit tight. So Kip said if TFF F me or not. Let me see. Let me check my copy real quick. I'm hoping not, because if that's the case, then man, be upset. You relog into my thing. No, TFF was good. Thank God. Right, Kip. TFF gave me 966. So let me just take a screenshot of my profits real quick. So thankfully, TFF did not screw me this time. I think yesterday it was a one-time thing, hopefully. Yeah, if you guys saw my profits from yesterday, I literally made like 2,000 per account, and then TFF gave me like a negative, which is super annoying. Gave me like a negative 1,000, which is crazy because I like made profit on every other account. All right, so we don't have that buy signal yet. We're still looking for that. But yeah, here are my profits. All right, we have that buy signal, guys. So with the buy signal there, we can start looking for another entry. All right, so I'm looking for price and break and close past the structure right there. Let me just copy this over real quick. Oh, whoops. All right, so we got price breaking and closing past the structure right here. So this might be a setup for the high-low scalp V2. If you guys want to take the entry, feel free. If you guys don't want to take it, you guys don't have to take this entry. We're still testing this, so it's not really the only official strategy that I trust right now that we're typically applying almost every day would be the momentum pullback scalp. Again, this would be the high-low scalp V2. So this candle didn't break and close past it, so it doesn't meet criteria yet. We need the candle to actually break and close past it in order for it to meet criteria. Going back over here, it's not high enough. So we need price to push up higher. We also have news coming up right here at 7:30. Thanks, Maddie. So yeah, Kip said he missed the pivot. You know, I love pivot scalps. Yeah, pivot scalps are like Kip's favorite strategy. So Kip, there's another like the same way that I'm applying this high-low scalp V2, you can actually apply it for the pivot scalp as well. I mean, for you, you already trust it, so you don't have to do that. But like, for example, see how this right here kind of pushed up and price pulled back? You have your pending order just waiting right there. And then as soon as price comes back up, you just have, like, instead of just entering right away, you just wait for it to pull back for the fake out. And then as it comes back up, it'll pretty much just shoot right up. Like, you know, how I typically apply. But again, you don't have to apply it that way. You know, if you're confident in the strategy, that's fine. But that's just another way of applying it. I think it works better for the high-low scalps because the high-low scalps does tend to fake out a lot. But for the momentum and pivot scalps, you know, it's not really necessary. But it is useful if you want to take that into consideration. So there's no entries here, guys. And there's news coming up right here in a minute. So it's not like we're looking to take anything anyways. But anyways, here are my profits for the day so far. So here's my first account, my funded engineer, locked in 900. This is my first FTMO, locked in 810. Second account, 810. Third account, 860. This is my 200K account, locked in 2020. This is my second funded engineer account, locked in 445. My personal account, locked in 285. And then my TFF accounts right here, locked in 966 per account. So pretty solid. You know, pretty solid profit so far. Here is the news candle. Again, you don't trade news because you start to get some like unusual price spikes when news happens. So looking over here at the news calendar, let's go back and take a look real quick. All right. Oh, sorry, this is not in the right calendar. News calendar right here. So the news at 7:30 was negative. So it was negative and price did come down slightly. So price moved in the direction that it was supposed to. I don't like that. I typically like when price does the opposite. So like, for example, I mean, it pretty much lined up with what I said earlier, right? So if you guys remember the news that happened earlier at like, what, 7 o'clock or something? Yeah, the news happened like, I don't know what happened. It happened somewhere around 7 o'clock right here. So see how price faked out because price was actually positive and price came down super heavy. Look how it corrected all the way back up, right? I like when price does the opposite of news because when it does that, you can expect a correction to happen. So you could have waited for like a V2 variation. There's a V2 variation right here. And then you could have just entered right here and just rode this thing all the way back up, right? All the way back up to open to news price. So I don't like when price goes in the direction that it's supposed to. I like when it's manipulated because when it's manipulated, you can just wait for the V2 variation or the V1 or whatever, and then catch that ride all the way back up to where it's supposed to go. So yeah, Daniel said news in 4, your V1 hit Vince. Yeah, the bias wasn't strong enough for Vince, so he didn't want to take it. But yeah, the V1 did come up pretty nice. I think you guys are looking at this one right here, right? It's perfect, went straight up. All right. So, I mean, there's a ton of strategies you guys can apply, guys. I have so many strategies. They all work well. It just depends on like the market conditions. If the market's ranging, then apply something like the SR rejection scalp or the snipe entry or the high-low momentum scalp. If the market's moving directional, which is what we're expecting for the rest of the year, then you'd apply something like pivot scalp, momentum scalp. I mean, they're all the same strategy. They're all pretty much the same. There's just different variations to them. And that's kind of how you get better at trading, right? You create an original strategy and then you make it better along time. So like there's a V2, V1, V3, depending on market conditions. But anyways, we still have a bullish trend here. So we're looking for, we actually have another level right here. All right, so this is the lowest level. We're typically supposed to use the closest level to like price, and this is the closest level right here. So again, right here, we have another opportunity for entry. If price breaks and closes past the structure, then we have opportunity for the high-low scalp V2. We have no buy signal over here yet for the momentum pullback scalp. So there's no entry for us right there just yet. I mean, if we get the buy signal, possibly, but if we don't, then it's fine because we still have opportunity here for the high-low scalp V2. But these are pretty much the only two strategies we're looking at right now. Momentum pullback scalp, we need a buy signal, and a high-low scalp V2 where we need to break and close past structure right here. Madhu's asking, are you only using higher highs and lower lows for the high-low scalp V2? No, we're using all of them. We're using any high-low, pretty much. Let's see, Madhu's asking, or will there have been an entry based on the lower high entry at 704? So I don't see any entry over here at 704, Madhu. I think you might be referring to this high-low right here. You said lower high, so I'm thinking, oh, you're talking about this level. Yeah, so with this level right here, the trend didn't confirm yet. So if you look over here at the pivots, so like, yeah, I see what you're referring to. So right here, we had the lower high, price broke and closed past it. But if you rewind to that specific time period, so where price broke and past it right there, we wouldn't have, it'd be really close, but we probably wouldn't have taken it just yet. Or maybe you're right. So like looking at this here, yeah, no, you're right. We probably would have taken this. I just didn't see this. The trend wasn't as clear as it was when we were looking at it. But you are right. So price came up right here. It pulled back. This is the fake out. Came back down. And then, yeah, the entry would have happened right here, actually, like you just said. And it actually would have went straight to TP. Yeah, you're right, Madhu. I totally missed that trade there. But you guys can see how strong his strategy is, right? So this is literally the entry right here that we're looking for. Madhu had a good eye. He actually caught it. So yeah, this would have, well, he didn't catch it, but he identified it. I don't know if you caught, maybe you caught it, Madhu. I don't know. But this is lower high right here. It could be any lower high. You're basically looking for the closest. So like if price is right here, you're not going to look at this one. You're going to look at this one. Price broke and closed past the structure. It faked out right here. As soon as it faked out, as soon as this candle right here closed, basically you put a buy stop right there, like at that level. So when price comes up and fills it, you guys can see how it blasts straight through the TP. So nice work, Madhu, on catching that. I didn't even see that, but you were spot on with identifying, that entry right there. Nice. So Madhu actually took it and he caught it for 200 pips. Smart. Yeah. So you guys can see the power of this strategy. This is why I like this strategy so much. And the thing that I like about it is that it's a 1-to-1 and it's like worth the risk because you're going for 300 pips. It's not like a baby move, right? Like you have one 300 pip move here. And the thing is, I back tested this like a couple weeks back, and this strategy like surprisingly hasn't lost. So you think about it, if you have like a whole month, like say for example, whole month and like one or two of these entries a day, that's like 300 to 600 pips. That's a lot of profit, and it's a 1-to-1. So like, either way, you're going to bounce back eventually. Because I've never seen this go like on a losing streak. Every time it's been like on a winning streak, or maybe if it had a loss, it would. The only time I saw losses for this strategy was back in September, like early September, when it was still summer season, because the volatility was too low. So I might have had to make some changes to the TP stop loss. But with the high volatility now, the 300 pips is pretty solid. All right, so we got price coming back down. Let's see if we have a bearish trend. If we have a bearish trend, we can maybe look for a possible sell here. But man, this is such a messy market. Yeah, Maddie said this is a nasty range. Yeah, so if we go over here to the clean chart, yeah, you guys can see how obvious this range is right here. It's a pretty nasty range, like Maddie said, to say the least. Right, so I'll put another zone right there. You guys can see how price, it just keeps faking out. So price will go up. I wouldn't be surprised if it fakes out here and it goes right back to opening price. Right, there's no direction. It's a nasty range, just like Maddie said. It just goes back and forth. Comes up to like some level, fakes out, comes back down to opening price. Comes down to a level, fakes out, back to opening price. Right here, it's at a level again, right? Same level. Same level, and I wouldn't be surprised if it goes right back to opening price. That's typically what it just keeps doing. It just keeps going back and forth. And it's not really the best type of market for us to really be taking these entries, because again, these entries are directional strategies, right? The high-low scalp, we're looking, like whenever you're looking for a high-low scalp, you're looking for direction. You just want price to move in its direction. The thing that I looked at with this too, and I'll show you guys this a little later, once we're done looking for entries, but I actually tested this on the 1 hour time frame, and this strategy works crazy. It's like you can go for 1,000 pips. The only problem is I'm not trying to trade on the 1 hour time frame, but it makes for a really good intraday to swing strategy for US30. I mean, it's a crazy strategy. It's like I never would have, like, I thought. So the thing with this is that I actually trade like this. I just didn't realize that this was a method of trading, because you guys will see sometimes like how a momentum pullback scalp will come up, right? It'll go into drawdown, and then instead of me entering right away, what I'll do is I'll just put my sell stop or my buy stop at entry point. So when it comes back down, it fills my order. So technically I was already doing this for some entries because I would miss it, but now implementing it into like an actual strategy. So, all right, looking at this again right here, guys, we have a change in shift, like the trend over here, a shift in trend. The level that we would have to use here would be the closest level. So it'd have to be this higher level up here. So price is breaking and closing past like 3 levels right here. But I need price to pull back to up here. So I need to pull back to the first level. I never overlap them. If there's one that's already running, I don't overlap with the other ones. So, all right, the candle's closed. We're basing the entry off this first level right here. So if this here pulls back and closes above the level right here, we'll look for the correction back down. So the pullback fake out would have to happen within the first 5 candles. So this is the first candle right here. If it doesn't happen within the first 5 candles, there's no entry, and we have to look for the next one. Looking over here at the momentum pullback scalp, there may be possible entry here, but I think price is definitely overextended. So measuring it from this high right here to this point, yeah, it's a little too overextended for me. So I'm not looking to take the momentum pullback scalp just like at this point. It's just too overextended for me. So I'm not looking to take this entry here specifically. If you guys want to take it, I'll mark it up and then we'll take a look. But I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I don't want to overdo it or over risk or anything like that, of course. Let's see. All right, Ben Harwick, we'll see you back here tomorrow. So Ben Harwick is done for the day. Maddie said might fake out liquidity, then retrace back up again. Yeah, I can see that too. Daniel said, now that volatility is high, your strategy that you were using on your top step, momentum candle continuation is doing really well. I'm testing it with a 1030, not 1010 though. Yeah, no, definitely. For sure, I can see that too. Yeah, that reminds me, I should take a look. Yeah, it's way too far back for me to take the momentum pullback scalp, guys. So I'm gonna hold off on that for now. All right, let's see. So price never really pulled back from this level here. The next level that we can use would technically be this one right here, but you know, like I mentioned, price is like super overextended at the moment. So I'd probably look for it to pull back a little more. I mean, technically, if you really wanted to take the entry, you could take it right here, but again, the overextension is crazy. So I'd probably look for price to retrace up a little bit. Let me clean this up because this one's pretty much done with for the most part. So I'd look for price to kind of retrace up a little bit. And then when it comes back down, then I'll set my pending order for that. Because the last thing I want to do is get caught in trade when price is overextended. And then you get caught in this like super heavy retracement. So I'm not looking to take this here right now because the overextension is just too heavy. Price volatility has died down as well. Yeah, price is currently overextended at 1,300 pips. So it's pretty far overextension right there. So right here, as price pushes back up, if you guys do look to, if you guys are looking to take the entry back here, so I'd probably base it off this specific one. Yeah, this would need to push up a little higher. So I'm looking for it to push up a little higher right here. And then what you could do is you can have your sell stop just waiting right here if you really want to take this high-low scalp V2. So I'll watch it and I'll see where it goes. But yeah, I'm gonna have to actively watch it. So the issue would happen right there at that level when price comes back down. So the level right there, I mean, the price is not going to be the same on MT4 if you're looking to put it at a specific price. But that's basically where it would be at. So I'm watching it right here. So this is the, we'll count this as the first candle, second, third, fourth. So if it doesn't come back in 2 candles, then you just cancel your order. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So this one's already done with. If you count 5 candles, it's already been 5 candles. So this is the first one. You count one, or just count the one after it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 5th candle here didn't break and close as a fake out. So this here is no longer valid. This is going to be the momentum counter scalp, or sorry, the momentum. Sorry, guys, I got so many strategies. This is going to be the high-low scalp V2 if you are looking to take it here. So if price comes back at this point, you can enter right there at that level. Again, the MT4 FTMO price is going to be different. So it's hard to put a pending order. You kind of just have to watch it as it comes back down. It's kind of acting like a liquidity push, right? So you guys can see how these strategies are kind of lining up together, right? It's like a second touch for the liquidity. So, and that's literally what it is. So there's liquidity down there. You can see how price kind of blasted right through it. So the first level of liquidity right there already got hit. It's already a full TP right there. And now there is, if it comes back down, that'd be the second touch. So you guys can see a lot of these strategies, they're like literally the same strategy. We just have a different name for them. So it's basically a second touch of liquidity right there. But for this here, this is being considered a high-low scalp V2. So this is one candle, 2 candle, 3 candle, 4 candle. If the candle doesn't come on the next one, which doesn't look like it's going to happen unless we have a huge spike to the downside, there's not going to be an entry here for a high-low scalp V2. And if there's no entry here, we'll just wrap it up for the day, guys. It's 7:46. I'm not expecting any other entries to come up anytime soon. For example, over here, this was just too overextended for us. So unfortunately, we couldn't take the entry for the momentum pullback scalp. I mean, which is fine because it looks like it didn't even play out here. If it was one that we would have taken. Yeah, so I think that's been 5 candles. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the fifth candle. If this fifth candle doesn't come down and trigger the entry, then there's no entry there and you just have to cancel your pending order, which I think is fine. We had a pretty decent trading day today. I only took one trade today. So I took one trade today. I locked in a full TP. For this month so far, I'm currently 4 wins and 0 losses. So I'm doing pretty decent for October, for not just October, but for NFP. If you guys will see my NFP trades, I'm usually very careful around NFP. I usually don't take very many trades, or I just don't take any trades at all. Thankfully, this month has been pretty, or this week's been pretty decent for us. But again, this is an example of the high-low scalp V2, guys. It doesn't look like we're going to have anything for today. So for today, I'm just going to put no entry. Or the first one, which is 10, 5, 23. However, Madhu did identify one earlier that played out pretty nice. I think as the season continues to move along, it'll provide us a lot more entries to look for, because right now we just don't have a direction. If we had a direction, it'd be a lot better. But I mean, obviously, you guys can see over here, there's no direction. Here's a clean chart again. Here, let me go and just update the level so that you guys can see. So we can extend this out a little bit. So we got that there, that there. Let's put this one down right there. And this one down there. Okay, so you guys can see over here that price is pretty much climbing its way back up to opening price. It's either going to climb its way back to opening price, or it's just going to continue ranging in this new structure that's been produced right here. So we currently have a resistance right there, support right here, and it's just kind of bouncing between this area, right? So that's why I'm not expecting any other trades to come up from now until 8 o'clock. It's 7:50 right now, so I don't really see much. But here's the thing that I wanted to show you guys. So I have a clean chart here. I'll just go to this chart. So like I was showing you guys earlier, this strategy that I was pretty much just showing you guys, it works just as good on the 1 hour as well. So for example, I mean, there's actually one trade that's currently running right now. So there's a high low right here, price broke and closed past the structure. It came back up and now it's still currently running. So there's currently a trade that's running right now with regard to, or actually, I don't know if it didn't work out or not. It didn't work out, it's too choppy. But let me show you one that happened when the market's actually ranging. You can see over here that this is not a good area to trade in. This price is just going sideways. And this is a directional strategy. So here's one example of it on the 1 hour. So I'll just go back over here real quick. So you guys can see how it's the same strategy, it's on a higher time frame. So price broke and closed below it right here, this high low. Right here, price came back up for the fake out. Then your entry would be waiting right here for a pending order. And then it'd be 1,000 pips. I mean, depending on the volatility of the market, maybe the TP stop loss has to be increased to like 1,050 or 1,500. But right here for 1,000, this is 1,000 pips. Price pushes up, comes back down and blasts right through the TP. And it's pretty much the same exact strategy. So again, right here, another time, price broke below, 5 candles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, no entry there. No entry there. Actually, there'd be an entry here. So price broke and closed right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, I guess it kind of would have hit there. This went over the weekend. This is why it turns into a swing trade. So like, for example, here, price breaks and closes below, comes back up, comes back down from this point right here. And then the same thing, you just go for 1,000 pips. So, you know, I'm always working on stuff behind the scenes, guys. I'm always looking for more ways for us to make money. And you can see right here, it works on the 1 hour too. I just don't have the stomach to hold on to a trade for like, 5, 10 hours. So I'd rather just scalp it and do it every morning. But yeah, that's pretty much a gist of like what we're applying. It's a gist of what we're applying, and this is what we'll be testing moving forward. So let's see, one question over here from Marcin. Marcin is asking in the high-low scalp V2 what it means confirm price break and close past nearest high-low. I mean, it's like pretty much what it says. It's like literally what it, so you're only looking, you're using the high lows that are closest to current price. So for example, let me show you, we had like a bunch of high lows that were marked up right here, right? So I mean, it's like literally what it means. So like, for example, right here, there was, because there was a time when it broke. Okay, so here's one right there, one right there, one right there, one right there, right? So if you look over here, Marcin, you see how this candle right here breaks past multiple high lows? You're looking at the nearest one. So this is the nearest one, right? You're not going to look at these because these are lower, farther down. So that's what it means. It's like literally, if you just read it out loud. So it says, like you mentioned, confirm price break and close past nearest high low. So this candle right here breaks and closes, the nearest would be the one that hit first. So you would ignore this one and you ignore this one. You're looking for price to come back up to this one right here. Does that make sense, Marcin? I know it might be confusing because I know we have like a little bit of a language barrier, but does that make sense? Because you're just looking for the nearest one that hit. So there's multiple levels, but it's just the first one that's right here. Okay, yeah, no problem. It's going to make more sense with time, Marcin. So the more that we apply the strategy, it's going to make more sense because you're going to see more and more examples. So for next Monday, we'll have a mentoring session. I know we haven't had a mentoring session in a while. And then we'll cover this because I think this is going to be like the next big thing that we're going to be focusing on. The momentum pullback scalp, this is obviously a great strategy. This works all year round, whether it's a directional market or a sideways market, it typically works. And then same with this strategy here. And this works more so during directional markets, but we'll continue testing it throughout the year to see what applies the best. Because I'm looking to focus on just two main strategies. I like the breakout V2. But I think this is better because it's for a one-to-one, it's for a bigger move. And then also it allows for us to like trade when the market's stabilized versus the breakout where the market's moving kind of crazy. So yeah, all right, guys, if there's any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, we'll wrap this up and we'll wrap up for the day. Let's see, Medusa asking, there's a high-low level at 33,210. What time was the level at Medu? Let me see. Or yeah, what time was the? Let me see, 33,210. I think you're talking about this one right here, right? Let me go on. Yeah, this one right here. That's the one. Yeah. So let's see. Madhu is asking about this one here. So price broke, close past it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, it's kind of, yeah, I mean, you're technically, yeah, you could use that. So I think in the future, I'm just going to leave the levels up. I know it's kind of confusing because there's so many lines on the chart. I had this one up earlier, but I deleted it. Oh, no. Okay. So the reason why we didn't take this one right here, Madhu, is because how I mentioned earlier, we don't overlap. We were focused on this one right here. So I did see that one, but it goes back to that criteria that we're, I probably have to put it as a note here or something, but like sometimes you'll have the candles that break and close past multiple high lows. I mean, I think this one here, would it still hit? I think it probably still worked out too, or it's still technically running. Yeah, it's still technically running right now, but for my testing, and again, the strategy I just came up with it yesterday, so I still have a lot of like changes to make to it. But whenever you have a candle that breaks and closes past like multiple high lows, you're going to focus on the main one. If this main one doesn't get hit or doesn't get filled, then you kind of just disregard all the other ones and then you wait for the next one. But yeah, I mean, if you were looking at this here, it still would meet the criteria. The only problem is that there's so many high lows around this area. Typically, you're going to have like maybe one, because let me see if I can show you. Okay, so this strategy mainly would be applied when it's going like this, right? So see how it keeps going up higher and higher? It's directional. You're not going to have a lot of these overlap. You're going to wait for like for example, this one right here doesn't work out. Okay, fine. This one right here, okay, it comes up, doesn't work out. That's fine. This one right here doesn't work out. It's fine. Then you look at this one right here and you're like, okay, this one works out. because everything else kind of touches it, but this one's a new one, comes up, comes down, and then it pushes back up from this area right here. So yeah, I know it's a little confusing because there's so many high lows sometimes, especially when there's like a lot of sideways movement. So when price is going sideways like this, you're going to get a bunch of high lows in the same area, right? But if price starts to move upwards like this right here, you're only going to have like one high low to look at, which is going to be this one. And that's where your actual entry happens right there. Boom, full TP. Yeah. So we'll continue working on it, guys. I think you guys will like the strategy a lot. Like when I started testing this strategy, it just blew my mind because I was like, man, I never thought about this, but this is like how I already trade. And this is why I always come up with the quality entries, because a lot of times I enter the trade late. Like the trade will come up and then I'll miss it. And I'm like, hey, okay, I'm gonna put a pending order right here. And then it fills it and it goes straight to TP, right? So if you guys want to look at this strategy and you guys want to have the requirements here, just go to the Discord, go down to trading journal, go down to high-low scalp V2, click on this right here, the Google document. The document will come up right here and it'll have all the requirements. So the Discord is super useful, guys. Hopefully you guys are liking the Discord. There's a lot of stuff here and there's just so much data and information here for you guys to look at. So we got some more profits over here from everybody. We have Kevin, total profit of 554 for the day. Nice work, Kevin. We have Kip, total profit of 3, 6, 9, 12, about 12,000 for the day, or 13,000 actually. My math isn't as good as Kip's. Kip here locked in 13,732. Nice work, Kip. We have Madu over here. He locked in that nice trade earlier for the high-low scalp V2, total profit of 2,086, all wins for the day. Nice work, Madu. Gian over here locked in the total profit of 2,111, or sorry, 2,110 for the day. Great work, Gian. Kip's earlier profits 10,400. We have David over here, total profit of 3021. Nice work, David. We have Vince, total profit of 680 for the day, all wins. Nice. Yeah, Vince said liquidity push slippage finally worked in his favor for once. And then we have Natasha over here, total profit of 422, all wins for the day. Nice work, Natasha. Going down over here, Maddie didn't take any trades, solid. And so let's see. If you guys have any more questions, put them in the chat. Otherwise, I'm going to take the individual screenshots of my profits for the day, and then we'll just wrap this up. Yeah, all right, Marcin, we'll see you back here tomorrow. Yeah, I'm pretty excited for this new high-low scalp V2, guys, because the thing is, we already like the high-low scalp. And I think this V2 version of it just makes it that much better because it helps you not get caught in the fake outs. And also it's a 1-to-1 and it's for a 30-30. So like for one win for me, that's like 6,000 profit. That's a lot of profit for like just one trade. So I'm pretty excited. I want to see how it plays out tomorrow. Again, tomorrow's NFP, so we might not even trade tomorrow, but I will be looking for the entry. Pretty good move. Let's see. All right, so we got this right here. My FTMO. My 200K count. My funded engineer account. And I'm glad we started doing these spreadsheets, guys, because these spreadsheets have been helping me a lot, especially with my trade psychology. Because even though I've been trading for a lot longer than you guys, you know, my trade psychology is still shot. It's not like you don't just automatically become 100% with trading. I think me following my results. So like if you guys look at my results for the year so far, this kind of forces me to do good because it's like I don't like seeing red on my chart, right? So like for example, here, if I see red, I'm like, damn, I really screwed up during those days. Or you know, the trades just didn't play out. So having all wins for the month of October so far, this is a really big confidence booster. So like when I take the next trade, I'm super confident about taking the next one. So if you guys haven't done this, I would recommend documenting your trades too. Again, if you guys go to Discord, go to the trading journal 2023 official live trades, click on docs. And if you guys do that, you guys can just copy my spreadsheet and then just input your own information. Because I think it helps a lot. Because if you guys are on a winning streak, you guys are gonna feel like you're on fire, and you're just gonna believe that every trade you take is gonna win. And that's a good thing, especially if you're on a hot streak. Because the hot streaks in trading are real. Like once you have a couple wins, the wins just keep coming. And if you guys document that, you won't be so scared to trade tomorrow. I feel like so many people are scared trading, and it really messes with their trade psychology. Anyways, let me just post up my profits real quick. All right, got this here. All right, so I'll just show you guys my individual profits real quick, and then we will wrap this up for the day. So here's my funded engineer account locked in at 900 for the day. So that's my funded engineer 1. Here is my FTMO number 1 locked in 810. FTMO 1, my FTMO number 2 locked in 860. This is my 200K account. This is my main account that I trade on. You guys can see I have the green strip because this is the main account that I take all my trades on. Everything copies to the other accounts. I locked in 2020. This is my second funded engineer account locked in 445. This is my personal account locked in about 300. And then here are both of my TFF. So my first TFF locked in 1,000 and went down to 966 because of the fees. And then my second TFF over here, I locked in 1,000 as well. So those are all my profits for the day, guys. And if I was to add this up, let's see, for the day so far, I'm currently at 900, 810, 810, 860, 2020, 445, 285. 966, total profit of 8,000 for the day. Just like 2 trades, or 1 trade that I took actually. Momentum pullback scalp. So this is the goal, guys. I want to get you guys on this level where you have multiple accounts. For me, if you just had 1 account, this is still good profit if you just have 1 account. But once you add like multiple accounts to your copier, that's where it really starts to add up. Because I could have just closed out the day with 2,000, but since I have my copier, I logged in 8,000. So, the key thing is taking 1 good trade a day or 2 good trades a day and then wrapping it up. So, all right, guys, Dan said, cheers, Sean, green day today. Hopefully another momentum pullback scalp will come out tomorrow. Yeah, definitely. I agree as well. So other than that, guys, Michael is asking what lot size you're using. Lot size shows on my screenshot, Michael. So if you go over here, it shows my lot size on all the accounts. These are all 100K accounts. So like this is proper lot size for that account size. And this is a 200K account. So I'm using that lot size. I mean, if you're using a cheap, like you're like using a $1,000 account, you're not going to use this kind of lot size, right? You got to use a proper lot size for your account size. If you're using a 100K account, then your typical lot size would be 100 lots. It's called, what's called, I don't know, I'm blanking out right now. It's called risk management, right? So you gotta figure out what your risk would be per your account. So it doesn't matter what lot size I'm doing. It matters what lot size you're doing for your account. Because obviously, if you're not a 100K account, you're not going to use this lot size. If you're not on a 200K account, you're not going to use this lot size, right? But yeah, if you look over here, the lot size is shown on all my trades. I use the same lot size for pretty much every trade because I'm consistent with my trading. So, and this risk isn't that much. So for this right here, I took the momentum pullback scalp. The risk was 250 pips stop loss, 100 pip TP. The risk was like 1.5%. It's not a big risk. So yeah, the numbers might look big like to you, but if you're using proper risk management, that's a proper risk per trade. You should be risking about like 1 to 2% max per trade for any trade that you take. Usually I go even less. So like on some trades, I'll even risk like less than 1%. So, you gotta understand risk management because I feel like a lot of people, they don't understand. They think just because it's a big lot size, they can just take it. But then at that point, you'll be over leveraging. Like you can't take 100 lot size on a 50K account, right? The broker probably won't even let you. Because you'd be over leveraging, you'd be taking like 3% on that trade. And obviously the max daily loss is like 5%. So you got to stay within the limits. So anyways, guys, that's about it for today. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to reach out. I think I answered everybody's questions here. But yeah, if there's anything else that you guys have, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I'm going to wrap